Hi guys, welcome to another video, and we are officially in October. Well, we're in mid-October. I don't know why I'm saying officially. We're in mid-October, and today I will be I just spilled all my carrots. Oh my god, my carrot seeds have just flown out. So we're going to be planting the Autumn King carrots. I'll show you guys so you can have a look. Yes, so I'm going to be planting the Autumn King carrots. It's my first time planting carrots in the autumn. I planted them, you may or may not know, I did plant them in the summer and they were doing really well until I went on holiday for quite a while. So I think the whole time we were away, it didn't rain. And I hadn't asked anyone to water my vegetable seeds. So that was the downfall. Otherwise I think I would have had really luscious carrots. But just before I wanted to start, I just wanted to, like, I don't know, it's not so much of a testimony, it's more of just like encouragement. Because for me, there's a lot of things I've been doing for a couple of years that haven't seemed to materialize to anything, if that's the right word. They haven't really materialized. It doesn't look like they've been materializing. But I got a text this morning from someone close to me, and they just told me that they literally got 2 opportunities after like years and years, maybe like 10 years, of what felt like closed doors. And it's not just this person close to me, there's actually like a number of people in my family who've actually told me that there's certain things happening in their lives that hasn't happened in a long time. And the funny thing is, like, the last kind of few, I would say the last, like, say 6 weeks or so, I've really felt like things are, for me, are coming to like a head, if I could say so. Like, all the things that I've been putting my hands to seem to, I feel like God's saying, yeah, it's like my season. So I guess it's just more of like an encouragement that if you've been praying for things and you haven't seen the outcome of it, just to keep praying for them, keep speaking over yourself, speaking life over yourself, because it actually does wonders. Yeah, I think I found I was really discouraged for quite a long time, but then I see like the testimonies of others, and it encourages me. And I mean, I know what God said, but then when you see other people's testimonies, it does encourage you as well. So yeah, I just felt like encouraged to say that this morning, or I felt led to say that, just to keep speaking to God and speaking over the things that He's promised you. Like, they will come to pass. Not everything has come to pass for me as yet, but I know that, like, there's a new dawn breaking for me. So yeah, I mean, if you walk in obedience and you stay faithful, mind you, I say that sometimes I haven't felt like I've stayed faithful, but God is always faithful, you know. Sometimes I've been discouraged, and sometimes you don't see things moving in your life, and you see other people progressing, and that can be really hard and frustrating. But yeah, I mean, if you keep doing what God's asked you to do and walking in obedience, I think one day, you know, something will happen. And if you keep walking, because I think the last few years it's just been like taking one step and the next step and the next step, and then sometimes I felt discouraged. Even with this gardening video, some days I've just been like, oh, some months I've decided not to film because I just feel like I don't even know why I'm doing this. You know, I've never been a gardener to start with. I've only been doing it for 3 years, but I did feel like God calling me to start gardening. And, you know, I started to feel like a love for plants and gardening and all that kind of stuff, which kind of felt like it came, you know, it came on me over like a short period of time, and then started the garden channel. So yeah, it's been a couple of years and it doesn't really feel like anything's materialized. I just keep making videos and wondering why I'm in this situation of doing gardening videos. But just be encouraged that, you know, if we keep taking one step after the next, just in obedience, that God is faithful, and He'll make something happen one day, and He'll make that puzzle clearer, because it feels like a puzzle at times, and things will eventually start to look clearer. So that was just what I wanted to say this morning. But back to gardening. I've decided, so I've left this empty actually most of the summer. I had onions in here previously, so I've decided that I'm going to do my autumn carrots here. I don't know what that is. my autumn carrots are going to be there, and then I'm going to plant my Japanese onions, which I normally plant every year in this bed, but I'm going to plant them on that side. So I know that they say that you shouldn't plant onions in the same place every year. Well, I've done it for 3 years now, so I don't know. I don't really have anywhere else to plant them. It's going to have to be here, I'm afraid. So that's the situation we're in. And then we're going to start with the carrots. So I might have to use my hands for this. I don't want to get them too dirty. But I learned a couple of things from doing carrots in the summer. It's the whole thing of having to, what is it called? There's a word for it, where you start growing loads of carrots, and then you suddenly have to like thin them out. I think that's the word. You have to thin them out. So that's what I had to do in the summer, and it felt quite overwhelming. I pretty much just gave up with the thinning out, because it just felt like this is going to go on forever. So now, as I'm planting these carrot seeds, this is what they look like. They're very small as well, so I think that's half the problem. But I'm just going to make sure that when I'm putting them in the soil, that I'm really being quite, how do you say it, sparse when I'm adding them in, because they are gonna, when they start to grow, they just sort of suddenly you get lots of them, and then when they grow big, they need space. So I'm very thinly putting them in this row, and I'm gonna leave it like that, and then we'll do the next row. Otherwise you will find that you have to take a lot out, and that just is time and energy. I just didn't have that energy, to be honest. So we're not doing that. The one thing I haven't done is bought a cover for this bed, so I need to still buy a cover from Amazon, because it's getting colder and they just need to be covered over the colder season. Alright, that's all the carrot seeds, and I've got, when I came to this to de-weed the bed, I saw these are onions. I didn't really want to take them out, I'll just leave them in there. And then there's like a separation between the carrots and the onions that I'm going to put over there. So all I'm going to do is just put some, I'll just cover these up, not too heavy when I cover them up, because we still want the sunlight to penetrate. So we'll do that. I actually don't have, that's okay. I don't really have any more fertilizer up here. I'll just cover it like this. I'm gonna water it once and then just rely on, because it's autumn, there's a lot more rain than in the summer, so I'm gonna pretty much rely on the autumn rain that we have, because we've had a lot, because that's better for the soil anyway than my lime scale water that I have. I'm actually like genuinely surprised that I've been at this for a couple of years, because even though I haven't really seen maybe what I wanted to see out of it. Like, I've always been a person who was never persistent, and I felt like this has been a lesson in persistence. Like, I feel like God's been teaching me quite a few lessons just from gardening. Obviously, besides the mental part of it, which is like, it's really good for your mental health. But it's also taught me just to keep walking in obedience, and one day maybe hopefully I'll understand why. It'll be interesting to see what the outcome of it, or it's nice to look back and see that I've learned a few things just from walking in obedience. That's which hasn't always been easy, by the way. There's been moments of wanting to give up, so nobody's perfect. Just water the carrots, and then the next video I'll be doing is the Japanese onions.